emotion is actually making us rational. So this dichotomy saying that rationality is one thing and emotional reasoning is not rational is actually wrong.
Today we're meeting Kia Høeg. Kia Høeg is a professor in human-machine interaction at Stockholm University. And for many years Kia has been researching affective computing with her colleagues at her lab. So in a broader perspective, what are the value of this research and in using it when designing products? Does it improve people's everyday life, do you think? Or does it have the chance to do that?
Yeah. So on the one hand, I could just turn around the argument and say, well, should we really be designing for people without considering emotion? That seems stupid, given that emotion is just such a big and important part of what we are and how we are in the world. But I would also like to say that there's a lot of situations where emotional interaction could be strengthened and improved. There's, some of the interaction possibilities we have are so impoverished, like, for example, text messaging on your mobile or using smileys or whatever. All of those are very sort of small, narrow channels of communication. There's a lot more that we might want to communicate to one another. Or values of fun and entertainment, playing games, getting scared or getting angry and frustrated. All of that is a rich palette of stuff that we can do, and it seems stupid not to bring that into our design processes in various ways.
Talking about rich, just in a more concrete sense, what is the business value?
So really making money out of it, I think that emotion sells. Games are sold on the emotional experience you get from them, or going to an adventure park or whatever. It's about the emotional experience. And I also think that some of the sort of more traditional systems are such that in the future we're not going to accept to have systems that makes us bored and tired and pains in our bodies. We are going to expect a good emotional interaction. So I don't think you can sell any systems in the future without considering this at some level. It doesn't have to be affective computing, but it has to be a definite consideration to what this means to people and their emotional reactions.
It's going to be even more important in the future, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
So when you're explaining all this to us, you seem extremely motivated. And what tricked you in the beginning?
So it was I was listening to Rosalind Picard giving a talk in 1998 or something when her book had just arrived, and I thought it was just so interesting and so challenging. And I guess I'm also it annoys me that certain things in life are sort of said to be of less value. Perhaps they're only for female. The old Greek dichotomy between males being rational and they can think, and women being emotional, they can't think. And what is interesting about the sort of recent research in all areas like neurology, psychology and so on, is that emotion is actually making us rational. So this dichotomy saying that rationality is one thing and emotional reasoning is not rational is actually wrong. It's wrong. That's not, there are reasons why we still have emotions. It actually makes us behave in a rational way. Previously we were talking about autistic children, and they have a huge big problem with being rational because they don't understand everything in the communication situation. And we all feel when we meet them that this is not a rational behavior. And why is that? Because they're not scared of certain things, or they don't feel the interaction in certain ways. And that to us is confusing and irrational. So that, and typically I find it interesting to go into areas where everybody else says that the value of this is low. It's low because it's female, or it's low because it's valued from a particular perspective in the society. That interests me.
So is there anything specific other than Rosalind Picard which has inspired your professional life in a very significant way?
So when it comes to the sort of emotional interaction and so on, I was very, very inspired by Phoebe Sengers, who's been doing some really excellent work in this area. And her view that you can take sort of the same technology, recognizing emotion from facial expression or whatever, but you can turn around the values and you can create other meaningful interactions where users are invited to create their own meaning and construct their own meaning and so on. And so that was really inspiring to me. And I also saw so clearly when we did studies of this system where you shake a pen to create a text message, that when users used that, it was not only about expressing your emotion in the moment, it was about constructing an interaction with someone else where they were constructing their emotional experience. Like, say for example that you and I say, we're going to meet next week and we're going to go to the bar together. And then I send you a text message, I'm so happy we're going to the bar next week. Then what I'm doing there is not necessarily expressing the feeling I have right now, but more the expectation of how much fun we're going to have next week when we go to that bar. And so we can see in the Emoto system that emotion is not a state that you, for some reason, suddenly end up in because of some stimuli or whatever. It's also construction. It's you constructing and deciding, and the expression of emotion influence you and so on. So you're constructing it on your own, but also together with other people. So for me, that constructivism and building for that I think was very inspirational. And that was from actually taking our system from the lab out into real life and letting users use it for several weeks together. And then you see how they really, really appropriate it to express and construct.
Thank you so much, Kia, for coming and sharing some of your knowledge and perspectives on affective computing.
Thank you.
If you want to know more about affective computing, you can read the chapter Kia has written, and you can find this chapter at interactiondesign.org. Here you can also find more chapters written by other thought leaders and inventors. And you can find more videos like this one for a brief introduction. Hope to see you there. Thanks for watching.